2021 was a great year for music, and I can't wait for 2022, where I'm hopefully going to be equally as hyped for each new release. In this video, I'll be going over my top 10 albums of this year, and already at number 10, I have Isaiah Rashad's The House is Burning. Isaiah's music has always hit home for me. His writing ability on Sylvia Demo and The Sun's Tirade is so emotional at points I can't even fathom it sometimes. The House is Burning is less so than his other projects, but the vibe is still there, and that's what I like from Isaiah Rashad's music. My 3 favorite songs from The House is Burning in order are Don't Shoot, Headshots, and Score. At number 9, I have Injury Reserves by The Time I Get to Phoenix. This was my first Injury Reserve project that I ever listened to, and it was seriously a breath of fresh air coming out of the first listen. I normally just stay in a lane of hip-hop, but I've never heard an album or even a song that sounded like what I just listened to. My top 3 are Superman That, Top Picks for You, and Outside. At number 8, I have Vince Staples' Self-Titled. Since he announced it, I was looking forward to seeing this album come out, and I was even more hyped to listen after I saw that Kenny Beats was producing most of the album, like he did on Vince Staples' FM project in 2018. This album is a slow burner, and I love it. My top 3 are Take Me Home, Law of Averages, and Are You With That? At number 7, I have Westside Gunn's Hitler Wears Hermes 8, more specifically the side B version. Both halves of the album are amazing, but I've always gone back to the second more than the first. I've been a fan of Westside Gunn's music since Pray for Paris, and Hermes 8 is probably my favorite project from him. My 3 favorite from side B are Hell on Earth Part 2, Free Cutter, and Celine Dion. At number 6, I have Don Toliver's Life of a Don. I've been a fan, like most have, of Don since the feature on Can't Say by Travis Scott. His Heaven or Hell album was also one of my favorites that came out in 2020, so I was more hyped than ever to see what he delivered next. My top 3 are Way Bigger, Outer Space, and Crossfaded. At number 5, I have Nas's King's Disease 2. I've been waiting to see what Nas and Hit Boy had been cooking up since the release of King's Disease 1, and I think King's Disease 2 is an improvement in most aspects. My top 3 are Death Row East, The Pressure, and Nobody. At number 4, I have Tyler the Creator's Call Me If You Get Lost. Tyler needs no further mention. He is one of the greatest of our generation. After hearing the single Lumberjack, I was wondering where Tyler would go with this style, and it turns out we got a whole album with elements that sound like it's from a mixtape. My favorites are Corso, Hot Wind Blows, and Juggernaut. At number 3, I have JPEGMAFIA's LP. I love experimental hip-hop, and Peggy is no outsider to that. This is probably my favorite JPEGMAFIA album, but I'm not really sure yet. But every song on this album sounds amazing. And it's so hard to choose a top 3 for this album, except for number 1. Number 1 is always staying there. Alright, so my top 3 are You Happy, Dirty, and Rebound. At number 2, I have The Melodic Blue by Baby Keem. I loved this album from the start, but somehow it kept growing on me more and more until it was able to reach the number 2 spot for Album of the Year. This album and Baby Keem's style is so unique that it's crazy that somehow this is his debut album. I keep thinking that he could have just gone the safe route and made an album that sounded similar to his mixtapes, but he didn't, and I love it. It was really, really hard to pick a top 3, so I didn't. So my top 5 are Scars, 16, Trademark USA, Family Ties, and Range Brothers. And of course at number 1, I have Donda by Kanye West, without a doubt. Ye is my favorite artist ever, and one of the greatest artists of all time, and I believe this album reinforces that more than it already was. Though this was already going to be my favorite album of the year, songs kept growing on me like Jonah, OK OK, and Remote Control. But Remote Control only started to grow on me when Cudi hopped on it But anyways, this album took over 2021 with multiple listening parties that seriously had me up at night waiting for them. This dude set himself on fire when one of the best songs of the year, no, one of the best songs of his career started to play. Again, I couldn't pick a top 3, so I have a top 5, even though that was challenging because there's 32 songs on this whole thing. So my top 5 are Praise God, Come to Life, Off the Grid, Hurricane, and Moon. And for added mention, Life of the Party, 24, Never Abandon Your Family, Donda, Heaven and Hell. Well, it's pretty much the whole album. Hope you liked my albums of the year. In the comments, try to get your list of your top 10 favorite albums that came out this year. If you can't do 10, 5 is okay. And make sure to subscribe, and see you in the next video.